Hi, my name is Sarah Monzon, and I'm going to be reading an excerpt from Kiss Me on Christmas. You can find the story in Destination Christmas in the Christmas Lights Anthology collection. This story is about single mom Caitlin and her neurodivergent son Liam, and I'm going to be reading an excerpt about when the heroine and hero meet at the very first time. We arrive at our gate an hour early. Liam chooses the first Home Alone to watch, and I cue Macaulay Culkin up on my phone, plug in the headphone jack splitter, and hand Liam his headphones while I place one earbud in and leave the other to dangle so I can still hear the announcements and know when our section begins boarding. I'm not sure whether to cringe or feel relieved about his movie choice, but at least by the end I'll feel a little bit better about my own parenting. I'm not winning any Mom of the Year awards, but I also have my son beside me at the airport instead of forgetting him upstairs in an attic bedroom. Liam swings his feet under his chair, then out in front of him as Kevin McAllister begins setting up his labyrinth of booby traps. He's not hitting any other chairs, and there aren't any people walking by, so I ignore the repetitive action as much as possible. Finally, it's time to board. Liam grabs his Minecraft backpack, filled with games and snacks to keep him occupied on the flight, and I shoulder my purse and get in line. The gate attendant scans the ticket barcode when it's our turn and smiles at Liam. Her Santa hat is askew, but I think it's on purpose. I hope Liam doesn't say anything about it, though. "Do you want a sticker?" she asks, holding up a sticker of golden aviator wings. He reaches out a hand and takes the pilot symbol. I wait a second, but when he doesn't say anything, I gently tap his shoulder. He looks at me and I raise my brows and nod my head toward the woman in the blue uniform. "Oh, right," he says. "Thank you." She smiles brightly. "You're more than welcome, sugar. Enjoy your flight. Have a great holiday." We walk down the jetway until it's clogged with people waiting their turn to board the plane. Liam grabs my hand. When I look down at him, his eyes are wide and his breaths are coming in quick, short spurts, the first downward spiral of a panic attack. I squeeze his hand and bend down so our faces are level and he can hear me clearly. "What are 5 things that you see?" This is a grounding technique that's worked for him in the past, to use his senses. 5 things he sees, 4 things he feels, 3 things he hears, 2 things he smells, and 1 thing he tastes, to get him to step outside his anxious thoughts and root back into the physical so he can feel more control. He looks at me. "I see you." "Good. What else?" His eyes scan around. "The poster of Mexico? The lady's bag with the corgis on it?" His head cranes before it jerks to a stop. "Beckett Walsh! Mom, I see Beckett Walsh!" He's shaking my arm with one hand and pointing in front of us with the other. "Who?" I don't recall knowing anyone by that name. If it's a friend from school, Liam's never mentioned him before. He's certainly never been to our house. "Beckett Walsh," he says again. I hate to break it to him, but if I didn't know who Beckett Walsh was the first 2 times he said the guy's name, it's not ringing any bells the 3rd time. "He's my favorite YouTuber." My mouth forms an O, and I look at the crush of people in front of us, trying to figure out which one has just saved my son from a panic attack. I'm sure Liam's shown me his videos before, but I couldn't pick the people he watches out of a lineup. "I'm gonna go say hi," he says a split second before he weaves around the person in front of us. "Liam, wait," I call, but he's already being swallowed by the crowd. Maybe I'm not any better at parenting than Kevin McAllister's mom after all. "Excuse me," I wedge myself between the wall and a teen with his head buried in his phone. "Pardon me." I squeeze past a couple in matching football jerseys. Finally, I spy the green, black, and brown pixel blocks that make up Liam's backpack. He's standing in front of a man older than I imagined by at least a decade. I'm not sure why I think most tubers are in their 20s. He's giving Liam his full attention. One last person, to pass, and my offspring is at least within arm's length again. I hope you don't feel bad that you don't have 12 million subscribers when Dylan Dallas has 96.7 million subscribers. I like and watch him too, but not as much as you. I subscribe to your channel, but my mom says that she doesn't want any more junk emails than she already gets, and I'm too young to need my own email address. At this, the man raises his head and our eyes meet. His are a soft baby blue that twinkle with amusement, matching the slight curve of his upturned lips. My breath hitches in my chest, not because I've never seen eyes that exact shame before, although I haven't, or because he's handsome, even though he is. My breath gets caught in my chest because, and I know this sounds crazy, but because of the way he's looking at me. It's not the way 2 strangers who have never laid eyes upon each other before would look. There's no surface gaze, no head bob saying, "What's up?" in greeting. I almost feel as if, for some reason, we're sharing a secret at that moment. There is connection. Liam continues to prattle, and the man dips his head to listen, severing the invisible bond linking us together. My lungs expand, remembering how to work again now that Beckett Walsh has released my captive gaze. What was that? The world has continued to spin on its axis, but somehow mine has been knocked off kilter. I study the YouTuber now that Liam has regained his attention. He has soft, dark, copper-colored hair with a bit of a curl to it so that it sweeps in a wave across his forehead. A beard of the same shade is neatly trimmed close to his angular jaw. His complexion is fair, and I'm almost surprised to not find a single freckle dotting the bridge of his straight nose or along his cheekbones. He's attractive. Highly unlikely that all of his 12 million followers are kids like Liam, or at least I don't doubt some moms or older sisters watch along too. Is that why my breath caught in my throat, and for a moment time stood still? Old-fashioned attraction? It had felt, well, maybe it's silly, but the moment had felt so much more. The look he gave me, his eyes flicking up over Liam's head to connect with mine, I've seen that kind of look before. It is a speaking glance, a silent conversation shared between two people whose lives are intimately interwoven. It was the kind of look a husband and wife share when their kid does something precocious, a shared love and appreciation for the heart of their child. I shake my head in an attempt to rattle some sense back into my brain. Liam may think he knows Beckett Walsh from the hours that he spent watching the man's videos, but he's still a stranger to us. Speaking glances don't happen between people who have never spoken a single actual word to each other. The more logical explanation is that my starved single mom heart and overactive imagination have teamed up to try and convince me that I saw something that wasn't truly there. Because honestly, I've craved a look like that, a look that sees and acknowledges, approves and accepts. You don't need anyone's approval, Caitlin. But just because I don't need it doesn't mean that I don't still yearn for it. Thank you.